Hey everybody, let me know if this works. For some reason when I tested the stream just a second ago, it did not work. Let me get my chat window up. Hopefully I can see y'all. Yeah, let's find out if this works. Just gonna test some stuff real quick. This is a very special episode of the weekly world building stream. We're gonna draw a map. Yeah, okay, it seems to be working.
Just gonna test some stuff real quick.
Weird loop. Okay. Great. How is everybody doing? All right, let me close down some windows we don't need open. Let me get the windows I do need open. Okay. Great. We're going to give people a chance to filter in, so I'm going to get a drink of water, and then I'll be right back. Actually, write that right here. Isn't that nice? Kind of, we should do more streams like this. That's what I think. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that. So we are going to get started here. I got to do one stupid little joke first before we get started. So I'm going to erase this and then I'll get the joke up. When I edit it on YouTube, it'll just look like this is where we started. So, you know. But for those of you watching right now, if there are any of you, this is your little extra sneak peek. Okay, ready? Here we go. Let's do this right. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't even see you there. Welcome everybody to the weekly world building stream. Today is a very special episode. We are going to be drawing, with this help of this whiteboard, the map of Khûm. So I'm going to do the best that I can with this setup here. I don't have a lot of room to either side to stand. I've blocked off on the whiteboard how much space, so you know, if I draw something over here, that I know you guys can't see it, right? So this should be pretty good. But if I have like weird positioning at any point, or if I get like too weirdly close, I apologize in advance. But yeah, we're gonna try to do what we can to do a very rough version of the map of Khûm today. I do not know how many people we're gonna get to come hang out with us, but hopefully we'll get a couple more people. So yeah, I have done a couple of really rough sketches of what I think. If you look at the stream, I think it should be up in this corner over here. There should be a world map. It's a little bit small because it's kind of condensed. I take my earphones out because it's a little bit condensed. But you can see there where Khûm is in the general proximity of the world. It is in the northeastern corner of Rubicos, which is the northeasternmost continent. So Khûm is kind of the most northeasterly point on the map. Everything's going to be very loosey-goosey today. That's kind of the reason that I have this, right? That way we can erase anything that we don't like or that we want to move around. And if you look down below the map, that should be here-ish for you guys, you should be able to see a long list of different locations that we brainstormed a couple of weeks ago. And we're going to go through, we're going to put those in as we draw. So I will probably do the basic stuff to begin with, the things that I already know about, a couple of the big obvious points. Which I maybe will even make a note of here as to what they all are. We'll start adding those. Okay, we'll put 5 of them. I don't know if there are actually 5, but we can cover those as we go. So I have some markers, and I have this map, and I have this list, and we are going to start to draw this map. So the first thing we have here, we have the coastline. So this is generally what I've always sort of done for this part of the world in Rubicos. I'm trying to do a thing with this world with Undune where I'm not sketching the whole thing in really broad strokes. I'm trying to leave lots of open areas that I can come in and fill in later. So plenty of times I sort of drew my world map and said, yeah, that's what the continents look like, and these are the coastlines and whatever. And then as I was working on All Hail Yogg, for example, I was like, oh shoot, I kind of needed to look like this instead. So especially in Yoggoth. So there's nothing wrong. Am I off screen? I can't think I'm off screen. So there's nothing wrong with, then you can't really see should I stand on this side? Is that better? So there's nothing wrong with redrawing coasts, but this is basically what I have, this kind of like big sort of animal head shape. Again, yeah, I'm gonna probably come in and out, so I apologize. Let me scoot all the way out, that way you can see it a little better. This kind of a shape, but I think it's totally fine to, if we decide we want to have this section come in a little bit or whatever we decide to do. I think that's fine. There's no hard and fast rule here as to what exactly the individual coastlines and stuff have to look like. So coastline, but we know that it's mostly northeastern, and we know that this body of water that surrounds it, here I'll just put it generally back where I don't even remember what I had, but yeah, something like that. We know that this body of water, there's not a lot of room for me to write it, so I'll just write it up here maybe. This body of water is called the gigantic ocean. Which is kind of funny because it just makes it sound like it's very big, like it's the biggest ocean. But the idea here is that if you look on your world map, as I move sides, it gets complicated. Over here, there's a continent that sort of abuts Rubicos called Deimos. And that is our sort of cold, Arctic, frost-fell, northern reaches of the world ocean. And that's where the frost giants live. And so that whole northern ocean up there, it's actually a thing I posted on Twitter a couple of days ago, is called the gigantic ocean. So all of this water up here, all of this stuff, this is all the gigantic ocean. We may have different names for the different areas. Like this feels like a sound or a bay or something to me, right? Or a gulf. But this whole area up here is called the gigantic ocean, and that's our main body of water. It's cold, and I think it is, in contrast to the Tritonic Ocean, which is the ocean to the southern part of the world. Like if you look down here, oh my gosh, how do I do this? If you look down here, right, you can see that like in the lower part of the world, beneath Sapphiros and Obsidios and a little bit of Thanatos, is another large ocean. That's called the Tritonic Ocean, and that one is very like calm. So I had kind of like the idea that the gigantic ocean that is like riven with storms, and it maybe like starts to freeze the further north that you get and things like that. So coastline is roughly like this, but I think that's very fudgeable if we decide it's cool to put in fjords and inlets and things like that, which I think we're going to get to. Number 2, the other really big terrain feature for Khûm are going to be, yes, that's right, you guessed it. Can you all read that? Is that legible? I'm trying to make it legible. Mountains. So what we know so far is that Khûm is basically boxed in on a bunch of different sides by mountains. The notion was that the dwarves were basically shut off from the rest of Rubicos and almost the rest of the world for a very long time, and that they have this long prehistory that covers all these different events before they made contact with elves and dwarves, elves and humans and orcs and things. So I wanted the idea that like probably you have multiple mountain ranges. I think maybe we get one like up here, and I think there's probably like one here. You know, and I'm thinking that there's probably, what can you guys see? If we do like, I want like, yeah, this big, there's one big one we'll talk about in a sec, but I think there's a big one down there, you know, that kind of a thing. Maybe it's longer than that. I don't know. Let's go, yeah, let's go like that. That's a really long one, but I kind of like, yeah, we'll talk about this one in a minute, but this big long one here. And then I wonder if you do like, and again, this is rough, we can move these around. I kind of like the idea of like one, you almost have to have like a mini one that goes like that, and then you kind of do like another coast, like some kind of thing like that, where it's like they ring up around the side. I think that's kind of neat. But it's basically, it's boxed in by mountains on all sides, except for the coast up here. And so it takes a long time for the dwarves and their history to basically find a route out through either one of these. Okay, great. We have that. We also have, this is a bad place to place this considering what one of our upcoming things are. We have a lot of tundra. So I think that there's like, these are our mountains. Oh, I also think there's probably like a couple of internal ranges as well, which we'll get to when we get to. But if these are our mountains, then I feel like tundra is just kind of the big open areas in the middle, right? Like it's like the mountains on the outside, and they kind of scoop into like a flat land. So tundra, I'm not too worried about. Forest. We have a very large forest somewhere in Khûm. I think when we were talking about it during the Other Races of Khûm episode, we discussed the notion of what was I gonna say? Of it being like in the northern portion. So I'm wondering if it's like up here-ish somewhere, which we'll cover. And then lastly, we have the volcano. And then this is sort of a good reason to erase what we have here. We have the volcano. And the volcano is really important in Khûmish mythology and in sort of dwarven culture, because it is the central point, basically, where the... we've talked about the volcano a little bit on the stream, but it's the one that Ignon raised up out of the ground, and it's where the fire giants came from. And it is meant to be like sort of unerringly, somewhat unnervingly centrally located, like right in the dead middle of Khûm. So I am going to actually erase these, and we're going to put that volcano in. But apart from that, that's pretty much all that I have figured out. Dead midpoint like that. Like, what do we think? I guess you guys can't see that. That's pretty small. If we do, you know, something like that. That seems a little high, actually, looking at it on the map. Let's bring it down a little. It looks right from here, but on the stream for some reason it looks kind of silly. Okay, so let's go like there. Yeah. I probably won't do super artistic mountains for this. I do like to kind of do the Tolkien, like that guy, you know, but that doesn't really work as well, I don't think, with the, because you can't do shades with the marker. So yeah, we'll just leave it at that. So this is our volcano. So let's do the first cross-reference then. One thing I'm gonna do actually before we get too much further, I'm gonna refresh my chat because I think something is up with it. Let me do that really quick. Sorry, folks. I'm sure there's gonna be a lot of shaking because I'm using my computer. I had to kind of jury-rig the setup today, so it's a little shaky. I apologize. Let me see if I can get this figured out here. One moment, everybody. Okay. Because I haven't seen anything in the chat yet. It could just be that nobody's here, which is you know, fine, but it makes me wonder if my chat's not working for some reason. So I'm just gonna reload it. Is there anybody here right now? Oh, it doesn't look like it. Okay. Well, I'll pop this out. We'll have it ready in case somebody shows up. Besides, that was all introductory stuff anyway, so we'll get into the real meat of it in just a second here. Okay, great. Sorry about that, folks. Okay, so let's talk. So here's what we're going to do. I think we're going to give each one of these locations a letter. Although I suppose we're going to have more than 26. So let's give them numbers, I guess. Let's go to mountains, and we'll call volcano 1. Like that, and then I'll put a number on it. Number 1. Okay. Exact center of Khûm, raised to quell warring dwarves, once the abode of the giants. Fire giants now all petrified by Igno, a gargantuan foundry where all the dwarves can work together, called the Fire Breathers, a special alloy that's immune to heat, essentially used to make boats and carts that can flow through the lava. That's pretty cool. So we're going to go through, I'm not going to do them all in exact order. We'll maybe do like one from each category if we can. We might skip caves and caverns just because I feel like that's very dependent on what's going on underground. So we have the gigantic ocean, which I'll put as number 2. We'll put it in blue, because why not? Number 2 in blue. Gigantic ocean. I'll put it in parentheses maybe. So that's number 2. Great. Let's do the next one in bodies of water. Frost Giant Island. Doesn't have a name yet. I feel like it's something Haim. Although I don't want to just like steal Nordic culture for Frost Giants. I think it's got to be a little bit more nuanced than that. But I think Frost Giant Island, Frost Giant home base, where the raiding Jarls convene. Once colonized during the Seven Sorrows, the humans have pushed them back to their island fastness. And here they lick their wounds, unsure how to tangle with humans and their new gunpowder. So I think they probably have 2 bases, because they were pushed out of 1. So let's say that 3, or the 3A maybe, is going to be like off the map. I think 3A is this direction, right? It's like way up and over here. Can you guys see that okay? Or is that off screen? Should be able to see. Yeah, 3A is like that way. It's like we can't see it. It's way out in the ice fields. Which suggests to me then that like this whole region, I mean maybe the whole gigantic ocean up here is like littered with little icebergs and things like that, and ice flows. But then what that suggests to me is that you have 3B as well, which was the base they had made and then been kicked out of. So we'll say 3A island fastness. Current headquarters. Sorry, this is probably shaking a lot. Let's try not to make notes on this. And then 3B is mainland stronghold, now deserted. Because I don't think they like actually squatted in the human. I'm not 100% sure what that should be. So I think this coast is too clean. Do you feel that? I feel that. I think this coast needs to be dirtier. Let's talk about humans and towns for a second, because that might help us with this. If we go all the way down to towns and cities. So Port Summer is the name of the big human population town. Can you guys see that? There. Center of Trade, home of Clan Brightshard. It's up a fjord, so we need to like put some fjords in here. I think like this whole, maybe like once you get past the mountains here, I think like this whole area is like really jagged with fjords and things. So let me jump in and start doing those, you know. Let's get it like really funky. I almost want, yeah, like that to be like an island. And then maybe we do like a really, like a big one. Yeah, what if we do something like this? So these are all jagged and fjordy, you know. Like that. kind of like builds up to this point here. And then I kind of wonder if even if it's like a large island, you know, maybe that jags in a little more too, just to give it a little bit more texture. And you know, presumably the coast is varied, but yeah, let's do like that. Again, I don't know if we'll keep all the specific shapes, but then I wonder if it's like a big bite, you know what I'm saying? Like that, you know? And it probably continues to be jagged all the way down along here. Something like that, you know, it's kind of rocky. Maybe it peters out like that. Something like that feels, how does that look to you guys? Feels a little bit more interesting. They might even be deeper in some areas, but I think we're just trying to keep it, that might be too deep in a, yeah. Again, roughly. We're going to keep proportions pretty loose here. But then I sort of wonder if we put Port Summer, like, call this number 4. Like, Port Summer is described as being what? As being up a fjord, uses ice flows to reach White Speck. Okay. Population wildly fluctuates depending on the season. I think it's like here. You can see that 5. It's pretty small, but there it is. We'll reposition it so it's a little easier to see. I think that's like right there. You know? So that's 5. And then I think that means, so White Speck is like the little island that the humans use to, yeah, so Port Summer is a human town. It's used, Port Summer is a human town. It's used for, it's basically the main hub where trade comes in and out from the different dwarven holds to out of Khûm. Think Dale or Lake Town, right? It's the main human settlement here. And it's a city that like balloons during the summer and then shrinks during the winter, hence the name Port Sumner. Or Summer. I think it was originally called like Port Sumpton or something like that. Like it was named after some human explorer or prospector, and it's just slowly over the years become Port Summer. And I like the idea too of like a land gripped by endless winter where the primary port is Port Summer. That's what they pray for, right? So then I think White Speck. Well, White Speck is a little tiny island. I think it's like. I even wonder if we jag this more. If it's like. You know, it's something like that, where it like comes in, and like this is probably like full of ice and little islands. Yeah, so the idea, right, was that like you can't really get ship traffic through here, so they have to use an island out here. We'll call this 6. This is White Speck. And this is all ice, in, like, out that way. Yeah, I like that. So then that's 6. Maritime Depot beset by frost giants. So if it's relatively close to their base here, you know what I mean? So for 3B, where the frost giants made their, like, mainland camp, do you think that, like, that's... Yeah, I don't know. Because my instinct is that would be a human settlement. I mean, there's the fort, right? If you look at Human Town number 2 there, if you can see that. Oh, you can't see it. Sorry, guys. I forget how narrow your band is. I'll have to keep an eye on that. Human Town number 2 says, advanced fort, a front to dwarves, rebuilt in New Age, supplied by River 1 or the Compromise. Name contains rock. So I think that then, that's a good, let's go from there. I feel like it's weird, like we're kind of going this way on the map. But it's interesting to just like flow from what makes sense to what makes sense. Let's go back to bodies of water. Let's look at rivers. Because I think the idea was that a lot of the trade flows through Khûm from this one river. So I almost wonder if we have like a big primary river that like snakes its way through here, you know? So let's use blue to do that. Called the Compromise in Dwarven, where a dispute between Dwarven holds was settled, maybe dispute between humans and Dwarven. Right, so that makes sense. I don't know how far it's going to go, but like, let's say, yeah, there's like a river, and I think it like sneaks off, you know, does river stuff, as you do when you're a river. Oh, sure. Okay, I think I got it. So the frost giants then. So that's. What do we want to call that? We did 6. Let's call that 7. It's the compromise. So that's like. Oh, that's black. I want blue if it's water. That's 7. You can't really read that, but it does say 7. And then I think we want that human town number 2, whatever that fort is. Although, yeah, I think the fort is down here. Do we have towns? Towns and cities. Human town number 2. You see it? Advanced fort, front of dwarves. I think that's here. Let me put it in. Again, it's going to be kind of small, folks. Sorry. I think it's right at that. It controls this area where the river like splits. It controls that crossing. Yeah, number 8. Human town number 2. There. So you have Port Summer here. So goods would come down the river potentially, right? And they would go through 8. Maybe they're taxed or something like that. They would go through the fort and then continue down the Compromise until they get to Port Summer, where they're distributed or whatever they're doing, right? And they're sent out on ice floes all the way out to White Speck here, and then they're sent down the coast. And then potentially there's like frost giant predations. So my instinct was to put 3B, like the frost giants forward, like post on 8, which is like very deep inland, right? It's like pretty close to the mountain. I kind of think there should be like tundra, like the in order to make this mountain as cool as possible, there should be nothing around it for a while. That it's like obviously not connected to any other landmarks. But I think if the humans used gunpowder on the frost giants to scare them off, they would have had to have ship access. So maybe they just used White Speck then. They like moved in. I like them having a mainland thing though. Well, we'll come back to that. We know the frost giants are out there and that they were pushed out by humans. Okay, so that's cool. Let's just keep moving through here. We did a bunch of bodies of water. Let's do some dungeons. Oh, here's a good thing we can do. Let's talk about mountains for a second. So one mountain range, there's only one mountain range we know for certain is in the game, that's in Khûm, is because it's been referenced in Hall of the Hornwinder, which is the prequel game, and that's the Phalanx. So when we were drawing the mountains initially, I knew I wanted a big, long southern one that was like the primary southern border. So this is the Phalanx. I'm going to draw... Yeah, let's do this. Let's leave that in, and I'm going to draw a bunch of... And these are going to be not good mountains. I'm not going to draw my pretty mountains. I'm just going to do standard S, right? Like, and I think it varies. Obviously, are they at a weird angle? No, I think that's okay. One second, folks. Draw some mountains. Yeah, okay. I think it's like that. I think there's like a little. I'm down here. I think there's like a little more. That comes down like this, and then like a little more up here, boom, boom. Let's go to mountains. Phalanx range. So we're gonna call this, I don't know how to label it. 9, whatever is the Phalanx. So again, the notion here that if the dwarves are all about defense and shields and protection, that the Phalanx would be the mountain range that would protect them against attack, quote unquote. They would view these peaks as being the ones that protect them. Yeah, that's good, Brent. From large glaciers melting in the summer into the ocean. They could. I think they do flow that way. I just haven't gotten all the way there yet. You know what I'm saying? So I think that they could come out to this various different mountain ranges. I even wonder if maybe we put a couple mountains here, right? Little ones, that then the river can flow to. Yeah, I think that's definitely true. I should also make the point that like this is fantasy, right? So I think what we should do is we should follow story and not necessarily follow the physics of it, right? Like I'm not a geologist. I'm not really aware of a lot of that stuff. Please bring that stuff up though, because we can always make a decision about whether it's a conscious choice to avoid doing what actually happens, or whether it's, or whether we should change it. But yeah, I think that makes sense. And they should be coming down from rivers and things. I think you could also get the. I just don't know. My instinct is that you would have both directions too, you know. But I like that. Maybe we can put some mountains in there. Let's get phalanx down. The one thing we have to do here that we know exists. There's actually a couple of those. Monuments and Wonders, no. Let's look at. Also, thanks, Brent. Thanks for coming and hanging out. Appreciate the input. There's Horn Hollow. Horn Hollow. So Horn Hollow, can y'all see that? Probably not. No, of course not. Horn Hollow right there. See it? Right? Horn Hollow, we're going to put a 10 on it, is the southernmost point of the Phalanx. It's way down here. And this is where the prequel adventure is currently taking place, is in Horn Hollow. It's like it's the home of Clan Hornwinder, who are kind of the protagonist clan of the campaign, and it's sort of the lowest point. It's the southernmost point on a mountain called the Lookout, or the Sentry, I think. So we've established that. We've established a couple of the nearby mountains. We have established who's in that area. Sculpture Clan. So we're going to call them 11. At one point in the adventure, the characters climb up to the top of the mountain. They look out, and I describe how they can see a good portion of Khûm. And one of the things they see really close to them is that as the mist kind of peels away, they see like this shape of a woman's face. Maybe you guys can't see that. Yeah, let me pull it down. Sculpture Clan. Oh, that went quick climb. It should be Sculpture Clan. Right there. They see the outline of this beautiful dwarven face, like a mountain has been reshaped into this woman's face. And the idea is it's like their next door neighbor. Hornwinder's clan's next door neighbor, and their big thing was sculpture and making these like ridiculously accurate stone depictions of people, kind of Pygmalion style. The idea is that the dwarven creator of that home, of that hold, was like enamored of his mother, right? He thought his mother was this saintly woman, and so he constantly puts her image everywhere. So I feel like it's like up here that like they're looking that way, so maybe it's over here. I don't know if this quite works. I wonder if we do, I mean this would mean I have to redraw the phalanx, but I wonder if we do like that more. Well, whatever. Let's put some more mountains down here. One second, I'll be right back, guys. More mountains go here. I feel like it wouldn't make this shape feels very odd to me. This like very angular. I kind of wonder if we do instead something more like right. So it's like, of course, now that I just drew it, I gotta get rid of it again. So it's kind of like yeah, that feels a little better to me. You know what I'm saying? See what I'm saying? Like, that feels a little better. Like, again, it's weird because it like reverses like that. But again, I think that's one of those interesting, that's not really how mountains work things. So then let's say that, I don't know if they're like immediately next to you. Let's say that Sculpture Clan is like right there. You know, it's near, but it's not immediate. I even kind of wanted to like almost create this little like, again, just go with me on this, because we can reshape this coastline too. That might be a good way to get it to look more like what we want. Like if we do something like, yeah, I feel like I want a big bay here, but you know, we can maybe even do something like that or whatever to kind of justify it. But I sort of want it to go like to double back or something like that. You know what I mean? I think that's kind of cooler. Because it's such a weird, and then you do get this little dell there. I don't know what that means for the coast. But let's put these mountains in. Let's go. I gotta level off because like mountain like shooting off at a weird angle like that. You come down here. Okay, so if it's like mountain, 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 mountain. It's a little unnatural, I guess. I don't know. Kind of like it. Yeah, I'm a weirdo. Maybe you could like split like that to make like a weird. That's kind of neat. I mean, and I like that it gets kind of branched and weird. That like the phalanx is unusual because of how straight it is. But I think it'd be cool if we can make the rest of these mountains just kind of like odd and odd and thorny and kind of weaving around, you know? Yeah, I like that. Go in and erase some of these. Not that that super matters, because I'm going to have to erase all this anyway. So I kind of like that there's like a weird little dell down here, you know? Okay, so the other thing we know is that Clan Hornwinder is leal to Clan Truesilver, who's, the royal clan. So that makes me wonder if we should put True Throne kind of in this area too. I like so True Throne is the seat of Clan Truesilver, and Clan Truesilver, as I mentioned, are the royal clan. I kind of like the idea that the royal clan isn't like super centrally located. It's almost a King's Landing where it's like not really in a great position to rule from. Maybe it's not like inaccessible, but it kind of speaks to the idea that like the dwarves don't want to be sent, like they don't want people coming to visit them, right? Like wouldn't they install themselves here if that's was their thinking, right? But this is like communal area. And I also think it's based a lot on resources. I don't think it's based on geography. So I think that these different clans would end up where the metals are. And so if we say that like each area is kind of, each elder clan has settled in an area that has a lot of their sort of chosen metal, which in the case of True Silvers is mithril. And we've established that there's a lot of silver, or there was a lot of silver in Horn Hollow. Maybe we say that, yeah, this whole area down here is where True Silver and all their banner and like underclans ended up. So I kind of want to do like that. There's like it kind of doubles back. It's still a little bit centrally located. If we say like maybe we do this one. Yeah, actually, the specific mountain doesn't particularly care. Doesn't particularly matter. But there's a thing about. That looks weird though. Why would it do that? Well, we'll figure it out. There's a thing about True Throne, where it's like it's surrounded. It's a large peak that's surrounded by 6 lesser mountains, smaller hills. Now I'm getting obsessed with the exact placement of these things, which is not important. You know what? I've been on the computer so long, I was like, oh, I should just push undo. I liked it better before. There's no undo. Okay, I'm getting too worked up about this. Let's just arc the thing back the way I liked it, and we'll just place it somewhere. So if it goes like that, right, then it would be like here, here, here. No, because it came over here, right? Like it came like that. Like it made a weird little dell. So yeah, let's go like this. Whatever, good enough. Yeah, that's fine. And then we'll say like, what did we just do? We just did 11, so we'll say 12 is True Throne right there. And I kind of like how like weird and low and decentralized that is. Hey, what's up, Vaughn? Yeah, doesn't it look like I'm teaching a class, right? I kind of wish more of ours were. There's something really nice and tactile about doing it this way. The Briar Patch Mountains. Yeah, it's kind of a cool name. Yeah, so that's True Throne. Let me put that in. Can y'all see True Throne? Yep, there you go. Yeah, sorry, I'm trying to manage the document too because it's the amount of space it takes up on here is like relatively small. There, that's maybe a little better. You can see a little more. Okay, so yeah, we have Horn Hollow down here, and then we have the Sculpture Clan we have not established, and then 12. Let's jump somewhere else and do something else. Let me look at a different category. Forest. Let's look at the Shatterwood. I gotta take this pass fail. Yes. Well, it's just a check. You just roll once. It's a saving throw. It's an intelligence save, and if you succeed, then you pass, and if you fail, then you fail. That's like the idea that basically all D&D skill checks are pass fail. I guess there's crits. You could get extra credit. So I want north, and I think I want sheltered. I think I want it there. That's the answer. You go like that or something. Oh. What if we move? Because I have an idea. Okay, we're gonna move you, Volcano. I wonder if this does not make geographical or geological sense, so forgive me. But okay, for argument's sake, let's say the mountain's there. It's not, but what if we do because there's one mountain in here that's internal, the Range of Kings. It doesn't belong to anybody. So I think it's and then this mountain range goes like that. Oh, that means we'd have to move. Whatever. We move the volcano somewhere that makes sense. And then there's maybe, we talked about little mountains here, something like that. So then the volcano's here. So it's I don't know why it became an A. There's the volcano here, right? So there's mountains. And there's this weird, almost perfectly spherical, and then all this is kind of lowland. That's not in the middle, but do you understand what I'm saying? I think that's kind of cool because it's very unnatural. Why would it turn out that way? Okay, so we gotta bullseye the middle of Khûm and then try to set the other mountains up around it. I don't think the phalanx is part of it because I think it's it makes a curve. What do we think? Is that the middle? That feels like the middle to me. So let's put the volcano here. 1. Okay, so then we need the other mountains to kind of scoop around it. So maybe there's another range here, but I wonder if we do... That's that. Then I wonder if this one... Is that really... You do what would be a perfect circle from there would be and then go perfect circle. The idea I'm gonna just draw a perfect circle, everyone. What would be if we go right? Ooh. A perfect circle. Take a look. Oh no. It could be an impact crater, yeah, but I just like the idea that there's a big, that it creates this because again, the notion, you remember Vaughn, the volcano story, is that there was nothing there and then boom, something burst out. That it almost seemed before the volcano was there, these mountains were designed to look like there was going to be something in the middle and then the volcano burst. I don't think it's actually depressed, I just think it creates a cool image, especially if it's not, again, whatever, I'm getting too hung up on this. Especially if it's not a complete circle. So let's say that that is a mountain range. Again, very bad. And then this is a mountain range, and then that's a mountain range, right? So then what you do is you end up with these we can move the river or do whatever we need to do. You end up with this kind of effect. I think that creates a cool image. Maybe it's an impact crater. I don't know. I just think it's one of those weird... I don't know how to connect these two then. It feels maybe it's and then it switches back. I don't know. Maybe you push it out. Maybe you do yeah, that might be it. Maybe you do that, and then this is up here. This is gonna be a bad circle, everybody, just so you are aware. And you do that, and then you do, something like that. It's a little further away. Yes, the central volcano. I don't know if it's the tallest mountain in Khûm, but I wanted to flatten everything else around it so that way it like really popped, you know. Yeah, this is odd. We might have to like. I wonder if we putz with this a little to make that work. So if we go like, because I want a mountain range up here on like the northern border. So if we go something like this, and it's like, something like that. I don't know, something like that. That seems a little elaborate, but because what I kind of want to do is I kind of want to do like, if these are mountains, kind of want to do like, you know, like that's the forest. It's like tucked in, and I think there are forests all over the place. But I want like a big, not central, but a big primary one. So if we just kind of like jag that up, but then it's like the forest like right before the sea, and that feels kind of weird. I don't know, sort of looking at it, it's kind of cool. I think you'd have to reshape a lot of this, though, is the thing. Because I want this, but I also kind of want the forest to be sheltered. To, I don't know. Let's leave this for now. I don't think this is perfect, but I want to move on and get some other stuff. So I think the Shatterwood is here adjacent. What was the last one we did? 12, so let's do Shatterwood as 13. Again, just an idea. This is 1. I don't know if there would still be mountains here. We could have this river be fed. Like, yeah, we could do this. Branch brought this up. We could do, there are mountains up there and it splits. We could do that, right? Like it's coming down from the mountain and these ones could come from there. I kind of want there to be like one, I mean, maybe one comes from the volcano that like flows down. You know, I kind of want it to like, that's a little splitty, you know? But something like that, and then 8 goes here. That's the human fort that protects the river. You know, something like that. I don't mind if a river cuts through there, but I like the idea that there's no mountains around that. It's kind of cool. And then it like compresses this area a little bit, you know, and it puts a natural border there so you can't just head in this direction. Maybe there's some connection between these two mountain ranges. I don't know. I almost want to do that again over here and go like, or something weird, you know, to make another kind of narrow pass. Because I think that's cool. I think that gives you a lot of interesting like strategy elements that like maybe this is kind of all one weirdly lumpy interconnected range. I don't know. Putzing around. I always feel like whenever I draw a map of Khûm, because I have a couple rough ones before this, I always end up with this problem. Where like you end up with all this negative space over here. Like this is where it happens because it has to be kind of isolated. But it's hard to draw like a rectangular map without just like leaving a bunch of it blank. What about a thumb and 4 fingers for distribution? So 4 on top 1 or a few on the bottom. Oh, so like that. I feel like you get a lot, you know, of this then. It's cool. It's a cool image though. And the volcano is the palm of the hand. So like that. The thumb. I just feel like that is kind of odd. You know? Because that just looks like 4 little mountains. Maybe you do like this or something. Or maybe you do like the Vulcan. So you do like I don't know. It's some position like that, you know. It's a cool idea. I like it being a little bit more suggestive than it is like obvious. Like if you did like a giant hand or something like that, I feel like that's too much. I don't like this. I want this different, but let's come back to it. Okay. What else should we do? 2 overlapping hands, like what, like that? This? I just like the idea of like there being a big empty space. The exact arrangement of the mountains isn't super important to me. So let's leave those mountains too for now, and let's just find a different category and come back to it. Let's look at monuments and wonders. Actually, we're going to go back to water. I want to talk about this sound over here. Frozen lakes. Yeah, large bay. Oh, yeah, that's right. I wanted a bridge. So what that tells me then is that you almost need to do, like, something like, you know, the bay has to kind of, like, live inside of that. So that way you can do, like, if there's a bridge. That's a bad bridge. But you understand, right? Because the inevitable thing you do there, of course, let me use the eraser, is that you, like, if it's here to here, God, what I wouldn't kill for a ruler right now. Why did I not think to bring a ruler? You know, you do, like, that sort of a thing. Where it's like a huge, I don't even think it's suspension. I think it's just like a big stone bridge that like spanned across the sound. Yeah, that's cool. I like that. I like that quite a bit. Cool. So let's label that. Do we have the bridge? We might. We have chain bridge. I don't think that's what I want. Oh, we don't have the bridge. Well, this is the bay, or the sound. I don't know what it's called, but I like it being called a sound. Like a sound is a word that's not used enough. Let's call this 14. 14, baby. Cool. Nice. Good progress on that. Let's see. Oh, that's another good thing we can do. If 12 is true throne, excuse me, and 12 is a true throne, then I think we know where the fortress is. So the fortress, fun XP fact, there's a random location in, I think it's listed as a dungeon. There's a random location in Season 1 of XP that is called, oh, hey, Jose, what's up? Yes, I am on the weird time change. Thanks for coming. We're drawing a map. Look at our map. There's a weird location in the first season of XP called the pugilist sound. I was just saying the other day that I love the word Puget. I love that someone with a really gross, vaguely like pubic-y, vomity name like Puget got to name something really huge and important. That like that they were like, okay, of all the explorers that are here, who should we name this after? Not like Jennings, you know, or like Rawlings, or like something like cool, but they picked Puget, the Puget sound. I just like that that's a gross word and that people have to constantly say it where I live. Puget. But there's a location called Yalkastad in XP Season 1. But for a long time I didn't have a name for it. It's like a fortress. It's like an ancient fortress. Kind of a Helm's Deep type thing. But since it has kind of a Slavic flavor, I wanted something that sounded, that it wasn't just Helm's Deep. I wanted something that sounded weird and vaguely Eastern European. So I ended up looking at Yalkastad, but we didn't write that name until relatively far into rehearsals. So there was a lot of rehearsals where we were just calling it Fortress. It was like blocked out. So I think it's funny when I don't know if you can see it here on the map. No, not quite. Yeah, Fortress is back. But I think this is 15. I think that's right here. So the notion was that there are, oh, that's a bad angle. There are 6 little mountains that surround True Throne. There's probably one there, whatever. And they have bridges that go in between them. And then after the Glimmer Gems rebelled and tried to overthrow the clan, they turned their bridge, that mountain, into a stronghold, kind of as a warning to future clans, like, don't fuck with us because now we have this. That is where the True Silvers are last seen. They flee into their... boy, I cannot talk. They flee into their fortress to avoid the dragon attack. So that actually gives us another thing we can put down. That's kind of cool about our list of these things we brainstormed is that a lot of them are interconnected. So once you put one thing on the map, then you can put other stuff on the map too. Let's say Frozen Lake comes right over here. So we had decided that there's a lake that is frozen all the way through, and it's near the fortress, and during the battle with the dragons, it was flash forward, it was flash frozen. Flash frozen. All the way to the bed by an errant breath weapon. Could see frozen fish and things in the lake. So I think there's like, I think it's small, right? I think it's like a little lake, like right there. You can't really see that, but you understand. And then that's 16. I can see it, and that's what's important. I even wonder if you could maybe make something that's like fed by that or comes down from there. But I think that's cool, right? Like during the battle, as the dragon attacked the fortress, it got hit with something and sprayed its breath weapon across the ground. It just like froze this lake. All the way to the bed. That's neat. Okay, cool. What else do we have? We did some water stuff. Let's do something else. Let's look at these dungeons. The library. Can you all see the library? Yeah. So the library was constructed by one of the early queens, Kavmari False Silver. It's like one big chamber. It's got the prayer to Umbor on it. I think it needs to be somewhere. We have like nothing over here, but I kind of want it up here. I want something that the party has to like go through the forest to get to. So I wonder if it's like, I think if these are all mountains, I don't know what they're called, right? But if these are mountains, I think these are the cloud peaks over here. I think it's a good visual language thing to say that like the highest mountains on the map are the tallest mountains. I think that there's something of like this. I think that's what my instinct is, that these are the cloud peaks. So we'll come back to that. But I think that the library, which would then be 17, is here. I think it's like secluded and tucked back in, and you have to know the only way to get to it is to go through the forest, you know? That's what I'm thinking. Erase these. What's chat got to say? How's chat going? Oh, there's a bunch of them. Vomitorium was really the name for the stadium exit rather than... Yeah, exactly. Last chance pass. At every sum... Seems like humans were fleeing on the water and the dragon. Yeah, for us like to capture them, that's cool. It's the Elvish Forest. Call the mountains the Rangers. Waka Waka. That's funny. I think it's the Cloud Peaks. I think it'd be like these, yeah, let's say these back ones are the Cloud Peaks. Right. Whatever, good enough. It's kind of sketchy, but... And then this little mountain, these little offshoots are something else. But then I think we can put that as the library. And then I think we can say that mountain ranges... Yeah, Cloud Peaks are the top one right there. You see that? Cloud Peaks. So that's going to be 17. We'll just do the same thing with the phalanx and go like that. Yeah. Go. Actually, yeah, let's reverse the way the arrows point. Like that. All this is 17. I was 17. Okay. T is there for you. Yeah, 917. Okay, that's cool. That's Cloud Peaks. So those are the ones that have the, they have their peaks like levitate up above the mountain. So it's like it comes up like, just draw an example. So it's like a mountain. We'll draw it down here on this free space. Comes up like that, right? And then the peak like levitates above it. Because there's wing rock, which is a rare like floating mineral that's at the top of it like that. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Which then I think if we're going to say that, then let's look at Yeah, I love the way these interconnect. That's very fun. Cloud Peak. I don't know if this is the name of it, but then I think the tallest mountain in there. Cloud Peak is described a flying castle constructed. Oh no, that's the Dwarven Hold. I think it might still be in the mountains. Where's that one? Oh, Flying Castle Dock, yeah. Giant dwarven statues holding castle loft, lowest of 3 peaks. Rock lives there now. So I don't know exactly how we do it, but I think that the castle dock then is here. Relatively central. They would have put it there. Let's say that's at 18. So this is where the Flying Castle docks. But if it's on this elliptical, which I think is basically because it was Warren in Hall of Hornwinders that looked out and saw the castle as it flew. Hey, that's a pretty good circle. Look at that. Yeah, get bent. I can draw a circle. I don't know why I can't draw that, but yeah. So that's the elliptical, I think. That's the path that it's on. So I don't know if you were all here for this, but I think it was Jose's idea, actually, if you remember way back when we talked about fantastic locations. The notion is that there is a castle, and it was constructed by Clan Cloud Peak, one of the elder clans, and it's a flying castle. It flies around. Yeah, right? Isn't that good? Look at that. Look at that. I am a geometry teacher. See? And it flies around. Normally they would just fly it around Khûm, doing whatever, staying above it all, kind of flaunting their incredible craftsmanship and artistry. But I think what happened is that during the Seven Sorrows, for whatever reason, they left it there, and they left it on this flying path. And maybe they left an anchor. We're not sure. We haven't decided yet. But then it basically just constantly circles Khûm all the time. And one of the big plots in the campaign, you can get that clan's loyalty to Harada's cause if you can recover their castle, because they basically armed all the traps, and you have to fight your way through the traps and get through the castle and get to the control room to stop the castle from flying around. So I think it just constantly makes a yearly orbit around Khûm, and when the party got where they were going, why can't I not talk? When the party gets to the top of Horn Hollow, they looked out, and I just, trying to find something cool, I decided that's the moment when the castle is passing by this pass right there, so they see them. So I think that's the elliptical of it, which suggests to me that somewhere, maybe here, there's that canyon, or it could be along here. Yeah, that's the one that seems to follow the mountains. Yeah, okay, so we're gonna say that this is really messy, but okay, let's do this. Let's erase this and draw this again. I mean, I kind of think that's what they did, Jose. I kind of think they did just bank the thing to the side and then just let it go in a circle. I mean, you're being facetious, but I think it's the dwarven equivalent of that, yeah. Okay, so I think that this... Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I have an idea. Okay, let's erase that. So there's a mountain range, right? And it goes... and it pins in the woods or whatever. That. And then from here all the way along this elliptical. Oh no, I messed it up. Oh, I messed up my good circle. Oh no, that's fine. But this guy then, this is the canyon. So this is anchor drag or something like that. Let's look at, what did I call it? Vales and Valleys, I think. Anchorway. Yeah, the Anchorway. A ragged canyon carved since the Seven Sorrows. Can you guys see that? Oh yeah, maybe the dragons harassed it? That's cool, Vaughn. I like that. Maybe there's a whole wing of the castle that's sheathed in ice and is inaccessible. That's very cool. I dig that. And all the traps are frozen too. That's very cool, Vaughn. the anchor way. Oh, you can't see it. A ragged canyon carved since the Seven Sorrows by an anchor that dragged behind the flying castle. Now the anchor is embedded in some rock somewhere, and a loose chain dangles from the flying castle. So I think that this, which would be 19, I was 19, is the anchor way. And what I think that did is that it carved a canyon that allowed a river to flow down, right? That carved this canyon, and then that made an opening for a river that now snakes its way either past or around or something like that. Like maybe made that an island. I don't know. That's kind of cool. So yeah, it's this massive canyon that's been dug because this anchor has been dragged across Khûm over and over and over again. And most of the time it hovers. It's high enough that it flies above the land and it just dangles there. But for some reason, when it just happens to fly through these peaks and carve a way through. So I think it even goes this far. It comes to the other side. Right? This is all the anchor way. So it creates this huge canyon in the mountains. And then I think that it's like lodged, like the anchor itself is lodged like here, right? Or it's getting snapped off in the middle or something like that. Yeah, maybe it's snapped off there and then the river pours down around it. That's cool. Yeah, you remember that, Jose? Yeah, that was your idea, dude. It was really cool. The anchor way. Okay, I don't know about this. Something with that. The river comes down. I don't want to just like perfectly flow into that bit, but I like the idea that it made this new river, or there's like this, maybe it circumvents that. Maybe it goes like, yeah, like this. And so now there's, to some extent, the fort is kind of useless because it's meant to protect against the crossing, but now there's a river, like the river flows down and empties here. Yeah, that looks better. Okay. Moving on, that's the anchor way. Nice work. Let's see. Let's look at some more marvels. Aqueducts. Yeah, let's talk about Mistmont. So Mistmont is a dwarven hold. Let me see if we can find it. Mistmont, if we can find it. Y'all see that? Yep. Mistmont is a mountain ringed by waterfalls, carved in dwarven faces. It's the hold of Clan Iron Spring. Iron Spring are the sort of like somewhat more progressive, less traditionalist dwarves, and they are basically largely in charge of fresh water supply. I think that like the springs around Mistmont are some of the best in Khûm or in the world, and so I like the idea that they've constructed these aqueducts to like ferry that water around. So where would they be? My instinct is that they'd be centrally located. They'd be like in here, but I actually kind of think it makes the aqueducts more impressive if they have to go farther. What if they're here? What if they're way on the end? You know, and so then it's like, I might move this. I might go, because I think this is a lot of weird open area. I might go like, we can also cut in here too. We could go like that. To make it a little less ridiculous, right? But I think I might go like that, and then maybe even like, because I want it like there is where I want it. Or maybe a little lower, maybe like there. Because what's cool about it, if it's here, if this is Mistmont, because again, it's a mountain, they're dwarves, right? Then these like aqueducts have to go like all over. They have to go like, here's an aqueduct, and like here's an aqueduct, and like, you know, here's an aqueduct. You know, they have to like go all the way across the kingdom. And I kind of think that's cooler, you know, if they have to, yeah, it would have to go like that. Or like, yeah, let's say you're trying to get one like here. You know, it's if they're not centrally located, then it's like they have to build these crazy things. So you would see broken pieces and collapsed bits of the aqueduct as you're walking along, you know, they're just like looming over the top. I kind of think that's cool. So then what we just need to get like mountains to there. It could kind of stand on its own, but I think it's cooler if it's part of a mountain range that's more realistic. So let's erase the aqueduct lines for now. I don't know, what do you guys think? I think that's kind of neat. If it has to stretch really far. Let's erase these. Oh, my finger's gonna be all gross. You know, I will say the one thing about dry erase is it doesn't stain your fingers in the same way that wet erase does. I use wet erase a lot for my mats, you know? It's really chunky over there. There's a lot going on. Ooh! The anchorway maybe exposes where the library is hidden. That's kind of cool. Because I had said something about the anchorway like revealing something, but it might like reveal a back door to the library or something. That's cool. Okay, so let's try to get mountains over there somehow. I do like this. I think this is cool. Do we like... I'm just going to try some stuff. Do we go like up and over? No. Do we go down and over? Do we go like... Maybe we do that and then we do like this to make like a weird thing, a weird pass. You know, or we flip it, we go... Yeah, that's better. It's kind of in the middle of a weird range like that. Oh, totally. It would have destroyed part of the aqueduct. Yeah. That's awesome. It's like smashed through there. I mean, maybe that's the part that, like, if the aqueducts go out, like, I bet you could trace like boom, 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 right? As it like smash them on the way through. That's really cool, dude. Yes. I want to write some of your ideas down, Vaughn. I want to write dwarven monuments and wonders. Smashed in concentric rings by the swinging anchor. Yeah. And then you said something too about castle. One wing of the castle attacked by white dragon. Dragons frozen over. Maybe it's like a turret. One turret of the castle. Sorry for the shake. Okay. Yeah, that's awesome, Vaughn. I don't like this one very much. I want that tight pass there. I don't want that to be too far open. I think this is cool. It's a little clean. You know, maybe you do like or something. It's just like loop around more. I think it's too close to them. I think something about like this stuff feels like loose ice. Maybe we change it. Maybe this is, instead of being fjords, these are like cliffs. You know, like once you get past like there, the land starts to rise, and it's still kind of jagged, but it's not that ragged fjord thing. Like these are cliffs. You know, like that. Or something. I don't know. You sort of see that? It's kind of messy, the whole map. I mean, it's a rough draft, right? It'll look much cleaner once we actually get in. These dotted lines won't be there. These will be mountains. Those will be mountains. There won't be as many of those weird labels. But yeah, I kind of like... That makes me think like this is the end of the mountain range. You know, that it's like that. And that this comes down. And what do? We had like... I don't think that's so bad. It just creates this weird open area again, which I feel like we kind of already have there. So do you do the opposite? Do you make like a big opening here where it's like there and then up? You can get that weird effect. I mean, unless they're just the same mountain range. Like unless this just comes over, right? Like you go like that. So you do get kind of a pass there, but then this is open. Is it like? So I want. That's good to me. That spot is good. But how do we justify these mountains around it? I'm sure this is fascinating to watch me draw little squigglies. Well, whatever. This is Mismont, I think, regardless of how we do the mountains around it. You know, because I love the aqueducts stretching across. We've done nothing over here. We should talk about this area. Well, let's label Mismont. I'll decide what the fucking mountains look like around it. Oh, what if? Sorry, I know. What if it's like? I guess that's kind of like that down there. But if you do that sort of a thing, I don't know. Whatever. We'll get there. I don't think that's it either. But it's something. That's Mismont, which is. What did we decide? What was the last one I just did? Was 19 really the last one I did? Yeah, okay, we're getting behind here. We gotta keep moving. 20. I was 90. Okay, that's 20. That's Mismont. What else should we do? Let's do more marvels. Oh, the lighthouses. Yeah, let's do that. So I think there are lighthouses that go all the way along the coast up here. Because we established one in All Hail Yogg. Merchant Valley on the southwest, where humans trade with dwarves. Southwest, you mean over here? I think this is human stuff up here. Because I think that it's Khûm's like not accessible from the mountains. I think this is where the trade happens. It's all like in the northern sea stuff. It does make me wonder what's over here. But I don't think there's any human contact here. Or I think this is where it predominantly happens, up here in the north. But that's a good idea, because we got to talk about what's on this side. So let's do the lighthouses real quick, just as I know where those are. But I think that they're basically just like dotted along. So it's like 21, 21, 21, 21, 21. There might be more of them, but there's like to guide ships along. Yeah. It's Terra Incognita right now. I mean, this is all human populated, so it does make some kind of sense there'd be something there. But it's not really, the campaign doesn't concern itself with anything outside of Khûm, because this is a mountain range too. Khûm is basically like blocked off from the rest of the world by these mountain ranges. So it is established, like the 5 League house from the campaign is like down here, right? This is all forest and things like that. Like this is all actual part of the world, but it's not super relevant to the game. Okay, let me put lighthouses in, and then we're going to talk about this other mountain range. So there's the range of kings or sovereigns. We haven't really decided what to call it exactly, but Jose, I think you might be right, Jose. I don't think it's still there in present day, but we do have under Monuments and Wonders, we have the Gates of Khûm, public pass in the Southwest Mountains, now collapsed. I think that is at the juncture of these two mountain ranges. You know? I'm not sure if that's exactly what it looks like, but I think that 21... the Gates of Khûm, which I imagine are kind of like a little bit of the Black Gate, a little bit of the Argonath, a little bit of the Gates of Barovia, are like 22 right there. Did I label that as 21? 22. So I think that like there is a big gate that you can cross to get into Khûm if you go that way. That's maybe like the only pass through, or even maybe the dwarves made it. It's like this is the most likely place for us to carve this So we're going to, and they made gates there. So I think that there is a human settlement, or there was a human settlement. Abandoned, constructed in the first page. Sorry, folks. Do you put markers in your mouth? I do it all the time. Markers and pencils and everything. Not a great idea with the coronavirus around. Constructed in the first age, now a ruin, meant to be a symbol. Human, dwarven, unity. Yep, I think it's like here. I think that's 23. And I think it's just like built. Oh, I think, yeah, people know about it in the real world, right? Like, or in modern day, yes, everyone knows what's past here. Like, most of the characters will have come from Greater Rubicos. Like, if you look at the map up here, right? If you look at the map up in the, I was going the wrong way, like the top right of your screen, Rubicos, that area up there, that's all charted and civilized. I think in old times, yeah, for sure they wondered what was over here. But nowadays, like, all the dwarves left Khûm, you know what I mean, and then came back to resettle it. So this is all developed and everyone knows what that is. It doesn't really factor into the campaign because the campaign is mostly about Khûm. But I think that one of the early kings, maybe the same queen that made the library, established a human-friendly town built in this, like, beautiful glade, like the mountains back there, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. I mean, maybe it's even, like, closer here. And that these are the range, that's the range of sovereigns. Yeah. So, ooh, that's interesting. Because one of the dwarven monarchs was one of the ones who was credited with, like, welcoming in different races, or welcoming in humans. Kavmari False Silver. And I think that she maybe, like, built this town. Oh, yeah, dude. It's right there. It's right in the path of the anchor. So it's here, right? And it's, like, underneath, it's, like, in the shadow of, so the rain, okay, I'm sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. That's that human town. Right now it's ruined and destroyed. It's like the ruins of Dale, right? It was meant to be, this is the symbol of human and dwarven cooperation, but it has since fallen into ruin and disuse. And the humans didn't really use it because it was a big pain in the ass. Like, the dwarves built it for the humans, but it's not particularly useful to them. The humans ended up setting up shop over here where they could get access to the sea, which is, like, easier for them to trade. The dwarves didn't really understand what made a good trading town. They just sort of built this and said, humans can live in this town. It's almost like a human ghetto or something, but it's this beautiful city that they built above ground. And so maybe there's even, like, weird architecture where the dwarves don't really know how to build buildings for humans, so there's, like, odd things about it. But it's right in the shadow of the range of sovereigns, which is this large internal mountain range here, that has depictions on the different mountains of the different dwarven sovereigns over the years. So I wonder if she built the town, like, in sight of her own statue or her mother's statue or something like that, so you can, like, see it very well. It's, like, on a vista, almost like a Mount Rushmore kind of a thing. Yeah, that's a great idea, Jose. That was all you, dude. Of course, I could call it that for sure. I could totally call it the Valley of Plenty. Or maybe that's like what it translates into. That's not a terrible idea, frankly. Called Valley of Plenty in Dwarven, presumably. Yeah, I don't hate that. And it's like, yeah, it's this beautiful little area. But the notion, right, then they built a road that goes there. Yeah, great idea. I love that, Jose. Here I am, peeking in. Oh. It's on the level of Egyptian pyramids, the Jewish view of it being slavery. Oh, yeah. That's funny. Okay. What should we do next? We still didn't really develop these mountains over here. I think this is where the glimmer gems are. I think the lodestones are down here, and the cloud peaks are there. True silvers are there. I wonder then if that means... I don't think anyone's in the range of sovereigns. I wonder if that means the old Bright Shard one is in here, which makes sense if it's really close to the humans, yeah. So Bright Shards are here. I don't think we're going to say where exactly their hold is, because that's kind of a spoiler. But I think the Bright Shards are here. And that's Iron Spring. So all that leaves are the deep veins. I think the deep veins are over here then. Oh yeah, for sure, because they have to be, yep. They have to be close to Iron Spring. So we're going to bypass deep veins for now, because I still don't think I've solved this kind of mountain tangle over here. Yeah, see, look what you did. Look what you did. You're a crime man who does crimes. Let's look at some monuments. How are we doing? It's 7 o'clock. I have an hour. How are you? How are y'all doing in the chat? Cloven Crag. Oh, that's mountains. I want monuments. Aqueducts we have. Chain Bridge. Crossed Spears. Oh, Crossed Spears, we know where that is. That's like up this way a little bit. Or what are we at? We're at 24. That also appeared in the prologue game. Dolmens we don't need. Endless Staircase is kind of cool. Oh, Everflame, that's right. Natural gas deposit that burns constantly with a persistent fire atop a mountain called the Torch or the Everflame, or somebody's torch or somebody's light. Sculpted to resemble a fire pit, an omen about the torch extinguishing. Did it extinguish during or before the Seven Sorrows? I think that's over here for reasons that I cannot reveal. I think it's one of these mountains. Let's just pick one. Sorry, I'm thinking. Let's just call this 25. Okay, and that is Everflame. Gates of Khûm. Oh, we do have Impossible Bridge. Here it is. Okay, that is 26. 26 is Impossible Bridge. I don't know if you guys can read those very well. One Piece Bridge, Watchtower. Oh yeah, the Watchtower. The problem with the monuments is I don't have like a lot of context for too many of them. Oh, you know what I wanted? I wanted a dam. You know, I wanted a river that they... Let's go back to rivers, because we could maybe figure out where the dam and the lake are. Frost Giant Island we have. That's 3. 16. We have most of these. Underground Sea. Oh, yeah, the underground... Well, underground seas are here. It's got to be. Look how big this area is, and it's like basically undeveloped. Yeah, so let's go... Another one like that. What are we on? 20. What did I just put in? 26? This is 27. Let's put it on the outskirts. Like 27. It's the underground sea. Yeah, that's right there. River 1. Oh, whoops. I missed that. This one should be 7. River 2. Mountain river that descends to the lowlands, lots of waterfalls, ends at a cliff that empties into the sea. Deafening roar, looks like a dragon head. So we have cliffs over here, but if we want a river that comes down from the mountains, you know, I feel like you want it somewhere else. that goes between above ground and underground. So I kind of want a river that like maybe this is the one that deposits into the sea, where it's like it starts here and it like comes in and out and goes through here and like cuts it. You know what I mean? Like I want one that like this big, long, rambling river. Maybe that's the one that comes in and out. I want a dammed river as well. Ooh, got it. So I don't know if it actually goes to the volcano. Maybe it does. But the dam is on this side of the creates this lake, right? Because if this is the range of sovereigns, or whatever we decide to call it, the range of kings, range of crowns, I don't know. Then there are all these dwarven statues in those mountains, right? And when that lake is super still, because it's a dam lake, and so it makes this beautiful reflection on the water. Yep. Let's put that in. So there's two things then. Reflective lake. I don't know if y'all can see that. Let me scroll it down a little bit so you can see it. Okay. Reflective lake. Made by dwarven engineering. Gorgeous reflection of sovereign statues. And then under marvels, we will put dam. I guess it would be up here. Oh, and I think the dam is made to look like a dwarven phalanx. If you think about the Hoover Dam, right? And I think, yeah, okay. So that's like, if the river was coming through, the dam is like here-ish. Ooh, I got it, okay. Let's do this. What would that be? That would be 27. This is 28. Damn. And then this would be 29. The lake. Put the dam. Oh, you guys can't see the dam. Sorry, this is a little bit of a messy stream today. Enormous dam. To create a better reflection of the sovereigns in the range of sovereigns. And it's all of this engineering and work done just to like improve the view there. You know what I mean? That I really like. Okay. Designed to look like a dwarven phalanx holding back the incredible press of the river. So it's like all the shields locked together, right? And they're all like squatting like that, you know, like from this, from the side they're like this, right? But it's a perfect wall. So it's just a wall, but it has like all these dwarven statues behind that look like they're kneeling and receiving the brunt of the river. Yup, for sure, dude. While we're over here in the range of sovereigns, let's put the range of sovereigns in. Range of kings. This would be 30. And I think the other place we sort of want is we want 31, which I think is the necropolis. And I want that to be in the range of kings because I want that to be kind of out of the hands of anybody else. Sorry, I'm just talking. Feel free to throw ideas out or whatever in the chat. I don't mean to monopolize. I'm just kind of trying to work through all the stuff in my head. What's interesting about it is that it's like I've been thinking these things, but I haven't really put them all down to paper quite yet. So this needs to be a mountain that's like basically broadly accessible, but otherwise unremarkable. Yeah, Phalanx is here. I think Clan Lodestone is somewhere down there. Let's see, what else? I don't know about the menagerie. I can't talk about the treasure vault. Zundakun's tower is in the Cloud Peaks. So let's just like pick a spot for that. Let's put it this way. Let's say Zundakun's tower is like 32 is like here. Cloud Peaks are busy. There's a lot going on up there. We got like nothing on this side. 32. What's some more stuff we can put over here or in the Phalanx? If y'all want to brainstorm about that. Lodestone's somewhere down there. Glimmer Gem is somewhere in here. So we should put the Glimmer Gem stuff in maybe. Zundakun's tower. 32. Closer Islands, Labyrinth, that's cool. Sculpture Climb. Quick Climb would also be in the Cloud Peaks. Let's back them up a little bit. Let's put Quick Climb like way up here. 33. Quick Climb. Oh, we can put an Oath Shield too. Oath Shield, I think, are like very adjacent to True Silver. And I kind of like the idea that they're kind of like guarding the pass in. So let's do this. Let's go like, that would be 34. Oath Shield, if you remember, are the like King's Guard dwarves who kind of defend the King's family. Big tundra out here. I kind of like that being open. What do we do with this range? What do we do with the Phalanx? Oh, I like that. Red Peninsula is kind of cool. Yeah. Lots of open area here. 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 I don't mind there being some, you definitely want some blank spaces, right? Like, you don't want to fill everything in. Because A, you want to be able to develop more, and then B, you kind of want a sense of like, here's just like openness. That it's not so busy that there's nowhere to go or nothing to do. And again, this is all very rough. A lot of proportions may change, so these areas that look blank may get shrunk or moved around or whatever. What's in that spot? You know, what's the name of the sound? What do we do with deep veins? Let's try to figure these mountains out while I'm over here. That and then, because the mountains can go over the underground sea. That's fine. Go like. I don't know. I can't figure it. I want like a straight shot between Deep Veins Hold and Iron Spring for reasons. Maybe we do like a curly Q. You know, maybe we do like a... It's kind of like that, but it's in the opposite direction, you know? Don't feel that much the southwest. Are you talking about this? Or are you talking about over here? I do think it is green and pretty over there, though. maybe they've done something to like keep the humans from going too far. Like, God, that's kind of interesting. Is there a wall? Did they do like, here's the, I mean, is it like a ghetto? Like, here's the area where you can basically, that would kind of mean we'd have to scoot this back a little bit. It would have to be sort of like, here you go, and then it's like walled in. I like it being in the range of the anchor chain though, because then it got like all smashed. I like the notion of them like walling them off though, that like they built a wall there and they built a wall like, that's a lot of land. But you know what I mean? It's kind of interesting. 23 you mean? Which one is a manufactured home? Fun. Because that's kind of cool. Like, I don't know how big we would want to make it, but the notion of like, welcome to Khûm, and they come in and they see some dwarven statues, like, wow, what a great place. Hey, what's beyond those walls? Nothing. 22 and 23. Oh, this area, marble-rich land. They have, ooh, the quarries. Yeah, the quarries. I like the idea of the wall. I don't know if the quarries go there. I think, let me do these real quick. Yeah, I think this is right. That's deep vein. I think it's like, and then what? And then there, like it curves around. Maybe there's even like a couple of them here. And it like loops around the side of the, yeah, and then it comes back around. So it's like, yeah, I kind of like that. It's sort of silly, but I like that. What do you mean by manufactured home? Are you talking about 23? I like that they would have walled the humans in. I think that's kind of neat. Quarries, though. Quarries. Would the quarries be made by? Yeah, I wonder if that's true though. That like maybe there's quarries on the opposite sides here, you know. Let's do this with him. Okay, I want to move these. I kind of want. No, you know what? Screw that. I still want to do like the undo button. I still want to go like undo because I was like, maybe that's not quite right. I want to move this mountain down here because I don't like it being so close to the wall. They wouldn't want the humans so close to their sacred mountain. This is still 29, and this is still 28, and then I think like 30 is like down here, 31. So yeah, I think then, let me put some of the rest of these in. Okay, so then I think that this is 32, where are we at? 30, we have 34, I think we're at 35 next. So 35 is here, I think, which is deep vein. Deep vein. Deep vein. 35. What I like about the term Valley of Plenty, too, obviously beyond it being a Witcher term, is that like there's kind of a, yes, it implies like there's a lot of stuff here, but it also sort of implies like you'll take what you're given. It's plenty. It's plenty for you. You don't need any more. It's plenty. I kind of like calling it the Valley of Plenty. I don't know if these are actual dwarven walls, you know? Because I think that the humans would react poorly to that. I think that they're like embankments of stone that from this side look like walls, but from this side just look like natural. You know, look at that's just the way the rock is. Like, welcome to Khûm. This is Khûm. There's nowhere else in Khûm. Okay. So they need to have a name then. 36 and 36. I do think we need quarries somewhere. You could put them on the opposite sides here, right? That like they would have like quarried all this rock to do it. Thirty-seven. It's a little messy, but you understand what I mean? Like, okay, so we're adding a bunch of stuff, but under monuments. Dwarven holds, monuments and wonders, stone wall. Stone wall. It's kind of similar to the dam, but stone wall. Meant to keep humans in the valley look like escarpment from one side, wall from the other. And there's the notion that like they built them this place and they erected these huge walls and they were like, okay, you know, this is where the humans can go. And the humans were there for a little while and they just like didn't really like it. Like it there's not enough resources in there. It's bad for trade. You know, they can't, it's a hassle to move things in and out. There's like no natural waterborne, you know, like humans, when allowed to set their own places, don't build towns like that. It's like the dwarves built it for them, but it wasn't what they wanted. I like kind of this thorny stuff over here. I like that this is weird and like not very navigable. Or just like full of passes and openings and weirdness. I sort of like that. I think that adds something to it. Okay. Quarries beyond. Made to made from, let's change it. Made from quarried stone. Quarried stone. So I don't really think that the quarries take up that much space, but that's the idea, right? That like right on the other end of the walls are these big rock quarries they dug out. No, I think it's like, if it was maybe put 36 on this side. No, I think it's like that. I think it's like right on the ass end of it. There's the quarry. Now see, but you understand. Does that make sense? Can you guys see that? Okay. Right, yeah. Half the mountains from the quarries that look fully flat from the side, like from this side. I wish. That's the range of sovereign zone that we can do that. But I do like that idea, it's funny. It's like all just like a facade, like a theater facade. I mean, maybe they raised them to look like mountains. You know, like half. That's maybe a little too silly, but something like that. It's cool. Okay. Oh, but then, look, the anchor. So the anchor smashed its way through. Oh, that's so good. This anchor is just constantly giving dividends. You know what I mean? Like, what a great idea, Jose. Look at all the cool things we've got. The anchor smashed its way through both sections of the wall. Yeah, beautiful. Okay, let's talk about rivers. I like the idea of a river that like circles Khûm, that like goes around like this. Like it starts over here maybe, and it like meanders its way, and then it goes back into the mountains and goes underground, and then comes over here, and then once again goes back into the mountains. and then comes up and kind of dances around over here, right? And then it goes back into the mountains, and comes up and goes into the mountains, and it's a part of the underground sea, and then it like empties out over here into a waterfall that goes down. You know, something like that, like this big meandering thing. Maybe it's kind of messy, and I'm sure it has lots of little offshoots. But I like that idea of this like big messy river. You kind of need something up here then, I guess. Yeah, this area is so empty. Like I want all this to be flat land, but that doesn't mean nothing needs to be there. And even this stuff is like, what's going on? This is the underground sea, so what's on top of the underground sea, I guess, is the question. You know? What else do we have? Watchtower between 31 and 25. Yeah, thank you for looking. 31 and 25. Oh, like a... Oh, that's kind of interesting. Watchtower was... Terracotta army statues facing outward, call something like the Endless Watch, the Undying Vigil. Yeah, who built it and why, I guess. It's kind of cool if it guards that pass, but what's the point of that? Like... Who are they guarding against? It's a cool spot, though. Sorry, thinking. It guards the necropolis. Then I wonder if wouldn't it be closer, right? Like... Yeah, it's like here. I think there's something cool about putting something there. Whether or not it's the watchtower, I don't know. I haven't like... Because you have to imagine there's like not hundreds, there's like 20 miles in between those two things, right? Like, so if it was guarding the necropolis, it would have to be like right next to it. And I think the thing with the necropolis is it's like... is that it's like unassailable. Like no one would attack it, you know? No dwarf would like conceive of the idea of attacking it. I was gonna put the watchtower like in the phalanx somewhere. What's over here? What's this mountain range about? I want something there. What's going on up here? Above 1? Here? It's kind of cool. But I just feel like they're not... If they're building a watchtower, it's got to be to like watch against attacks or threats. You know what I'm saying? And like right here in the heartland, I don't think they're worried about that. I think it should be, if it's going to be there, I think it should be on the borders. You know, you don't build a watchtower in your backyard unless they were attacked by something. You know, this is totally a big blank spot. It's like smart to think that. You know, that there's like something missing. Are all of the numbers backwards to you guys? No? I think it's like funny how unreadable that map is to a certain extent. There's so many little dots and things on it. It's kind of nuts. Yeah. I think it's got to be in the phalanx. I think we have nothing over here too and nothing over there. I think it was built by Clan Lodestone, who are like the Guardians, you know? Unless it was like built... The fun thing is I can pace, right? I can walk this way. I can turn around, I can go, Can I walk out of shot? Yeah. And then I can turn. I want to do more streams like this. This is too enjoyable. I think Yeah, I don't know. I don't know where it belongs. Let's come back to it. I think you're right. I think it should go somewhere. My instinct is to put it here. But it's like, who are they building it against? What are they guarding against? That's what I can't wrap my brain around. You know, I like the idea of putting something in the middle there. But what and why? What else do we have? Let's look at some other ideas. We have the giant stone titan. A machine created by dwarves, possibly to fight fire giants. What if we put that here? What if the giant titan is like was like, because the idea is they were building it to fight the fire giants. So they built it and they started to walk it, and then it like for whatever reason collapsed or broke apart and like fell to the ground and is like strewn across the landscape right there. I mean, we could put it up here too. It could be from somewhere else. But I kind of like the idea that it's just like lying there in the ground, half buried with snow at this point. I kind of think that's cool. That was your idea originally, Vaughn. 11 above 1 would be a right fully actually growing harvestable plants. Yeah, like nobody. This is beautiful crops and like the dwarves don't give a shit. Who says the watchtower's guarding against? Maybe it's a watchtower watching for someone to come in. That's what's inside the tower that's valuable. Yeah. I want to put the Titan down. I still think the Cloud Peaks are just so busy. I don't want to put anything else there, but I feel like if you were going to build a watchtower, you would build it at the highest possible point, you know? And I think that's in here. And even though these mountains look taller, I think those ones are taller. If that's the gate... Would there be a pair of towers, like on either side of the gate like that? Because I think that's the problem, is that I'm envisioning that it's one tower, and that's what I'm having a difficult time with. So maybe it's a pair of interconnected towers, or a pair of like corresponding towers. So there's the gate, then like a couple peaks over the two highest peaks, they put these towers on top of that gaze out. Or I mean, or they could be internal. I just feel like or we go with your idea too, Jose, that there's something inside the tower that it's protecting. But I feel like if it was a dwarf, you wouldn't make a tower to guard something. You would hide it underground, you know. Let's put the giant stone titan somewhere. I like the idea that they would have marched it up from here, or maybe because it maybe came from lodestone. They would have built it together. So I think it's here. I think it's like right in the middle. We're on 36. I think 36 is like here, and it's just collapsed. You thought of it as one alone, yeah. I don't know, like, I think it's cool. I just don't know what it would be guarding. And what it guards to me is like really relevant to why it exists. Ooh, here's an idea, Jose. We say that this is the sound. What if it's on an island? Because that seems like they made a deliberate decision to put it somewhere where no one could get to it. What does it guard? What does it watch for? What if it's not here? What if it's here? What if it's way up top? What if instead of this lighthouse, and it's gazing out to the north across the gigantic sea? Like they built this huge signal tower, right? And it's got guards around it. What about just above the anchorway at the beginning of the North Fjord, right of 13? Like here? Or did you mean that? Because I think that's cool. And it's just like gazing that way, you know? Like way out to sea. Maybe it's meant to protect against frost giants, but there you go. That's what you're figuring out. It's not meant for frost giants. It's meant for something else. But 37 is where the frost giants set up their camp. So this is also 3B. They're like land camp, and that's where they were pushed out by Yeah. Well, hey, it was your idea to put it in. I totally forgot about it. I think it was your idea originally to even have it. Yes. Watchtower. 37. And then Frost Giant mainland stronghold pushed out by Golden Coast, which are the humans with their gunpowder. So, I mean, it still leaves us with this problem and that problem and some of this, but we're getting there. You know, we're working our way through. The original lighthouses. Yeah. They're like modeled on it. All modeled on the original lighthouse. Yep. Original watchtower. Great. Wow, it's so messy. What a mess. That's great, Jose. Nice work. Let's see, what else are we looking for? 3 shields range. Yeah, that's just a small range of mountains. We can make those the 3 shields. Towns and cities, the Anchorway. About half an hour left. I think that this... It's got to be protective. I kind of want it to be like guarding the forest, but maybe they wouldn't do that. What's over here? What's this? Very cut off by mountains, but accessible to the sea. I like the idea of there being an area of geysers somewhere. I don't know if that's all that area is, just geysers. God, what is here? What is going on here? What is there? What is here? What's in the mountain ranges? Okay, I'm just going to go through everything we don't already have yet. Monastery, oh, thanks for keeping it. Like, you're like digging in this document, dude. Upper part of the range of 20. 20. Oh, monastery's up here? Could be. I think those mountains are kind of more trafficked. I think that if the monastery is going to be... Because you've got ships coming in and out, I think that they're going to be... like here. Ooh. You know? You're really reading this document, Jose. I appreciate that. And you're like squinting at the map too. Like, I can't imagine that map is particularly easy to read. Is it even in focus? I feel like it's not really in focus. You know, like that area in particular seems kind of out of focus. Okay, River 2. We kind of have both of those. I want one more river. One more big river. It feels like this is the area where we need another river. But I don't know into what context. It would come down from the mountain and empty into the sea. Like, I could just put another... We could have the volcano give sort of birth to all these rivers. You know, you could have another one that goes that way, but it would just be a river going that way. I don't really feel like that contributes anything huge. You've got this area down here. I don't know what the another river idea is. Reflective Lake, we have, we gotta put that in. That's 29. We don't have to worry about the underground stuff quite yet. Menagerie, I don't know. I can't put in... I don't know where the menagerie is. I mean, we can put menagerie in some of these. I think the menagerie is over here. I think that the Glimmer Gem clan, or the Usurper clan. So there was a clan called the Glimmer Gems, and they tried to overthrow the True Silvers, and they were defeated, kind of Reigns of Castamere style. So we should put in their hold, which I think is somewhere over here. It would have been probably the northern part, because they wouldn't have wanted humans to mess with them. but I think the menagerie is probably a sort of a creation of theirs. So I think let's put their hold in. Glimmer gems. Let's put it like here. What are we at? 37? 38? 38 is here. And the menagerie can be like nearish to there. That's kind of a big amount of area to give to the humans. I might shrink that. You know, look at all that space. Well, whatever. We'll leave it for now. Proportions I can figure out when I do the actual copy. Let's look at where that monastery. I think that monastery is like hereabouts, somewhere down in the phalanx. Gorge, Horn Hollow, Hot Springs are going to be over here. Let's put Hot Springs right next to them. I think Hot Springs can actually be one of these small ones. Let's put Hot Springs in this mountain. And again, I will draw these cleaner and figure out exactly what mountains they're in. Hot Springs. Oh, we did them. They're 34, Oath Shield. It's 34. Quicklime, Underwater Clan. Yeah, that's going to be 35. Oh, no, not 35. That's going to be 40. Oops. 40. Oh, you guys can't see any of that. Sorry. 40. I think they're like in the middle, underground. It's most of those. Shatterwood, Aqueducts we talked about, Chainbridge, I don't know. We have the dam, it's 28. Oh, sorry, you got a lot. Oh, there you go. Left border over there. Let's do... Yeah, this side is the autofocus side. It's pretty bad. Can I like scoot it forward? Will that help? Well, I think the problem too is that I'm here, so the camera wants to focus on me. Like, I think if I get out of the way, it's a little better, right? Monastery. This seems so big. I might want to shrink that. But then it's also like I'm not really doing anything with these mountains. You know, I might want to bring them in or push that or push the range of sovereigns out a little bit. Let's put the monastery we're just going to stab it somewhere. We're going to say 41. We're going to put it right here. There you go. That's the monastery. Oh, let's talk about transit stations. Yeah. Well, monastery is 41. So transit stations. Okay. One of the dwarven monarchs, I think the third dwarven monarch, was known as Gree the Great, and she was known for being sort of a FDR-style New Deal dwarf. She built a lot of public works and things like that. She started the range of sovereigns. She really improved Khûm's ability to... I think she was the one who instituted the taxes, and she improved Khûm's ability to function as a kingdom. And the big way she did that is that she built the Stone Way, which is essentially the subway. It's like a huge interconnected system of transit tunnels. And they have, instead of revealing essentially where everyone's individual holds are, Gree built a number of these different transit stations, like these terminals, all throughout Khûm. And then the dwarves built, if the dwarves built tunnels from their holds to their nearest terminal and then hid them behind hidden doors. So that way you could use the terminal but not reveal to anyone else where your hold was. So what there are is there's a dozen to 20 to 50, however many we decide, of these transit stations that are sort of again, think of a New York City subway station where it's built into the side of a mountain or a hill or whatever, and you can walk down into it and get onto the subway and take it, and anybody can do it. Maybe there are like guards that keep monsters out or something like that, but I wonder where we place those, because I like the idea that they are, for the most part, not random, but kind of evenly or like distributed on a grid or something like that. I honestly, though, I wonder if that's something we do when we do the underground map, because I wonder, you do the underground map, yeah, you can like draw the grid, because I imagine it looks like a subway map, you know, and then you could say like, oh, these two lines meet up here, so put a transit station there. But I mean, it feels like the volcano is the hub, right? Oh, they could make True Throne the hub, but I don't think it is the largest city. Could be True Throne, and then everything radiates out from there. I think Gree would do I think Gree would make the volcano the central hub, and then from there they all kind of radiate out in different directions. So I actually don't think I'm going to put them on this map. I think I'm going to have to do an underground map, but I feel like at the very least, like they would put them, I'm going to do like equals Stoneway terminal. I think they would put them near-ish the holds of the main, however many. Definitely there's one here. Definitely there's one here. Definitely there's one here. You know. So, and obviously the big one is here. So, you know, there'd be one that way, but I bet it would branch off to other places. You know, that kind of stuff. I bet that there's the anchor punched through one in the gorge. You know. Yeah, that's cool. A concentric snowflake. So it can, I can like come out and have little. Yeah, I think that's cool if it has that kind of a design. Like if this is Khûm, right? Can you see that down there? Yeah, whatever it looks like, Khûm. And there's the beginning. Yeah, that it's like. But it's weirder than that, right? It's like there's gaps there, or it's like that comes down in that way and then over, you know, and those two connect like that, and this one goes, you know what I mean? It's like some kind of really odd, like interconnected passages. I think it has some kind of a resemblance like that. But it has like a base one, and then as the years went on, they did like a base rubric maybe, yeah. They made like, when it was first built, it just looked like that or whatever, and they just like decided these are the stations, and then over the years they were like, well, we actually don't have to go this far here, we can just do like that, you know, and then bring that down for whatever reason, and then eventually they were like, well, this one actually would serve us if we did like this, and it just eventually becomes this like big weird thorny, like, you know, for whatever reason, it keeps getting weirder and weirder. Because that way, by now, it's all kinds of fucked up and barely looks like the original design it was once meant to make. Yeah, maybe it even like looked like something, like it was a crest, or it was the symbol for like traffic or, you know, speed or something. But it got denatured and denatured and denatured, and now it looks like nothing. This area is all pretty open still. I'm kind of losing steam. I think I might call it. There's a lot to do yet, and what sucks about this is that once I do this, like once we're done, once I erase this, I'm gonna have to either redraw it or find a new way to put these things in. They do love Art Deco. Yeah, I think that's kind of the vibe for dwarves. I feel pretty good. There's obviously lots to do yet, but I think we have a really good start here. This is at least half of the locations that we have figured out. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to call it. I'm kind of losing some steam. So I have bad news, unfortunately, about the future of the stream. For the foreseeable future, this facility, the one that I do the streams in, is going to be closed because of the corona. So I will not be able to come back and stream for at least a week, if not 2 weeks, if not 3 weeks. I'm not really sure when campus will be open again. So we may not get a chance to do this. I may try to do something else, maybe like a public Discord discussion or something like that at home, because that's much easier for me to do than to come here. But at least for next week, I think we're going to be off. And then as the situation develops, I'll keep you guys updated. I think we did an excellent job with the map today. I think I'm really happy with it, despite how just sort of like messy and chaotic it looks. I think it's going to be cool once I get a nice, pretty copy. Maybe that'll be an incentive for me, is to like draw a good one, and I can post it as I work on it. You gotta figure that out. I still don't think that's quite right. I'll have to take a look. Yeah, I think that's neat. Okay. Well, it'll be a little bit, I think, before we'll be able to do another stream, but I will try to keep y'all updated. I think we did awesome today. I'm very proud of the work that we did. And I will talk to you guys as soon as I can. Obviously, if you enjoyed this stream, we have a lot more. You can check us out on Twitter at XP Web Series. I usually post a lot about what the campaign that I'm working on and things like that. You can become a patron if you want. Patreon.com/XP Web Series for more bonus content and D&D related stuff. Until then, thanks for hanging out and getting beardy with me, everybody. I think it's going to be a very cool campaign. Thanks, Jose. Thanks, Spawn. Thanks, Brent, for all your input. Awesome. Have a good weekend, everybody. Talk to you later.